Forget the headlines. Forget the textbooks. Everything you think you know about global trade, it's a complete illusion. We're taught it's this majestic, highly organized dance between giant nations, right? The US trading with China, Germany with Mexico. But today, we're ripping the lid off that black box in this explainer. We are diving straight into the raw data.
Think you understand how it all works. You probably picture massive shipping containers, predictable routes, ironclad, decades-long contracts between totally loyal corporate partners. It sounds stable, doesn't it? It sounds like basic common sense. We really want to believe the global economy is a well-oiled machine built on deep trust.
Well, it's completely wrong. Global trade is not about countries. It is driven by millions of messy, fast-paced, and wildly unequal connections between individual companies. It's less like a formalized diplomatic treaty and a lot more like a chaotic series of corporate blind dates. And spoiler alert, most of them go terribly.
And we are just guessing here. We're backing this up with hard, undeniable proof. Over 3 million. That's the massive scale of the data we're looking at today. Millions of individual moments of friction, negotiation, and exchange.
That's 3 million individual import transactions, analyzed in just a single year. Researchers actually cracked open 20 years of meticulously detailed Colombian customs records. Why Colombia? Because tracking every single buyer, seller, and product at this microscopic level over 2 decades, it completely strips away the academic guesswork. Traditional data looks at entire countries and blurs the details. But this firm-to-firm microdata exposes what actually happens on the ground when real companies try to make a buck.
All right, let's get into myth number 1. Big buyers just want more volume.
The reality here is going to feel like a slap in the face. Big players do not scale up their orders per factory. Instead, they relentlessly accumulate and hoard more partners. It's a total shift in how we understand business growth. They don't want deeper relationships, they just want more relationships. Just look at the steep upward trajectory on this chart. A firm's total imports explode upward, not because they're buying more volume from their favorite factory. No, it's because they're constantly bolting on dozens or even hundreds of new suppliers. This extreme supplier hoarding is the true engine driving global trade. The biggest importers are simply building an army of unique suppliers.
Check out this breakdown. Notice how the median sales per supplier remain completely flat. Whether a company has exactly 1 foreign partner, 5 partners, or 100 partners, the median amount of money they spend with any individual supplier is literally identical. Boom. The idea of economies of scale and corporate partnerships absolutely shattered. Firms don't double down on winners, they just cast a massively wide net. Okay, moving to myth number 2. Trade networks act like social networks.
This one beautifully contrasts human nature with corporate reality. In social networks, popular people hang out with popular people, right? But in trade, opposites attract. The biggest, most highly connected firms actively seek out and match with isolated, poorly connected factories. The big fish are actively hunting the incredibly small fish.
As the data shows, well-connected firms connect with absolutely everybody. They sweep up the large, the medium, and the small. Meanwhile, small firms usually only manage to link up with a massive partner. This isn't some balanced ecosystem. It's an incredibly skewed structure where the top hoarders act like giant vacuum cleaners. They serve as the critical hubs, dragging smaller, isolated factories into the global market. Which brings us to myth number 3. Supply chains are stable. In reality, they're revolving doors.
Brace yourself for this statistic. 52%. More than half of all new importer-exporter relationships are completely dead within a single year. Think about the gravity of that. You go through the immense friction of finding a partner across the globe. You negotiate, you set up the logistics, and by next year, poof, the relationship is over, gone.
Look at the sheer drop-off on this chart. That brutal cliff shows that most corporate relationships in international trade are nothing but fleeting one-year stands. A company tests the waters, makes a single transaction, and vanishes. There's almost zero loyalty. It's a pure transaction. And it absolutely proves that maintaining a global connection is incredibly, incredibly difficult. Stretch that timeline out to 5 years, and the reality is even more staggering. Over 95% of firms completely change their supplier mix. Let that sink in for a second. Almost everyone is adding or dropping partners constantly. The global supply chain is not a loyal marriage.
It's a ruthless revolving door of absolute churn. You're always starting over. So bringing this all together, the conclusion, the real cost of trade. For decades, we thought the primary barriers to trade were just variable shipping costs and tariffs. We obsessed over freight rates, but this data proves something entirely different. Yes, distance and a country's wealth matter, but they matter because they dictate the incredibly brutal fixed costs of simply finding a new partner in the first place. Think about it. Researching a market, vetting a factory, negotiating a new legal contract. That's a massive fixed cost that hits you before a single product even moves. The ocean is cheap. The true hurdle is the corporate matchmaking.
If you take away one thing from this explainer, let it be this. The hidden cost of globalization isn't shipping. It's the massive sunk cost of hunting down, securing, and inevitably replacing these fleeting, one-year relationships. It is a constant, incredibly expensive treadmill, and companies are stuck running on it year after year.
Which leaves us with the haunting realization. If creating a new connection is the single hardest, most expensive, and most unstable part of international trade, is your business currently bleeding money looking for loyalty in a system built for churn? Think about it. I hope this completely changes how you view the global economy. Until next time, keep questioning the common sense.